Hi, welcome to Anne's Space. In this video, which is a continuation of my travels around the UK, I am in Bath and I'm also in Bristol. And because I had such a busy time in Bristol, I'm going to actually do 2 vlogs instead of 1. So stick around, these are just some glimpses of what you're going to see. So I've arrived in Bristol and I've been sitting in this lovely sun waiting for the ferry, and here it comes now. Just a little one. Yeah, hopefully it gets me to the stop near the hostel. Fingers crossed. So this certainly wasn't the ferry I was expecting. Definitely a tourist thing to do, but that's okay. That's what I do. I'm a tourist, right? No, I'm a traveller. So one of the reasons why I chose the ferry is it's just by the hostel, which should be just up here somewhere. Well, this is my hostel right here behind me. Excuse the big flag. But yeah, it's a multi-story and it has cafe, restaurant, a bar, you name it, it's got it. And where it is here, right in Bristol town, in the city centre. How cool, what an awesome location. So just wandering around the city here. This is Bristol Cathedral, and it's very much a student-oriented city. Clearly, they're all chilling out here. It'll be after exams, so not a lot to do. So this cathedral got built in a couple of parts. Originally, there was a monastery here back in 1160. So that was down through the other end, and then up in this end, this was the last part to be built, and this was 1880. So it was down in this area that the monastery was, and just, you know, I just like imagine all the monks walking around in their robes. Just blows me away how it could be just so old. 1160. Man. So this area was built in 1298, and these areas to the side were actually built in the design to cater for the graves of renowned people or people of importance. It's pretty interesting. I haven't seen that before in the cathedrals that I've been to. So I've just realised how flat all the cities that I've been into so far have been, with the exclusion of Coalport, not a city. But Bristol is really, really hilly. So those thighs are getting a bit of a workout today. So once again, I can't get the full picture. But this is actually the University of Bristol, who would have thought, and I believe my mother may have attended this university. I'm sure my sister or brother will correct me, but I know she definitely spent time in Bristol, so really interesting. I wish I knew the history. Well, I've just been wandering around Bristol for the afternoon and it's still really warm, so I've discovered lots and lots of old buildings. It's a real mixture here, and now I've stumbled across this park called the Botanical, and it's edged by gravestones. Who would have thought? But it's like an arbour. It's really pretty. It's just everybody's out and about. I don't know whether they've had weather like this in the last few weeks, but they said it, girls in the hostel said it was supposed to stay like this for the next few days. So yay. And now I've discovered Clifton Hill. Lots of cafes, restaurants, bars up here. Totally different area from busy Queen's Road that I was in earlier. So this area is Royal York Crescent. came across it on my own, hadn't read about it or anything, but look at all these places. And they've got the garages underneath. And it's almost like a promenade, but it comes down to another street. This is York Gardens, this one here. So definitely rather salubrious. So I'm probably only 20 minutes or so from the centre of the city, and this hotel's an amazing place. But right there is the countryside. So they're not very far to get out of the city. So I was going to go over the Clifton Suspension Bridge tomorrow, but I think I'll just do it today, seeing as I've already walked this far. So it's a bit of a pay-as-you-go system here. There's the toll bars and traffic lights and taking you across the bridge. So I'm thinking people don't use it every day. And there's the view like I had from the hotel. And there's the view of Bristol. Not a really big city. You can see those brightly coloured buildings I passed on the ferry this morning. So I've come up now to the observatory, and that's just looking down at the gorge. And here's the observatory up here. So in case I didn't mention it already, this is actually the River Avon. So as well as going to the more popular tourist places like the Suspension Bridge and the Cathedral, I love it when I find little areas like this. Like this is in between these blocks of apartments, which are really pretty. But this garden is just so nice. And it's just wedged in between. And I don't know who looks after it, but it's just beautiful. And behind me here, all these properties have their own little garden. Isn't that great? What an awesome find. And here I am, nearly back to the hostel, and put in the hostel on my Organics map app, and it brought me down by the Avon River. It's made me actually remember when I was working 5 years ago. I stopped and I used to walk home down the Brisbane River. So good morning. It's been a bit of a messed up morning. I had to shuffle my bookings around at the hostel, but it all worked out in the end. Fingers crossed for when I get up tomorrow morning. So I'm waiting at the Laura Fountain. It's just behind that car there. And I'm doing my first greeters walking tour. So she said to meet at the fountain. So I'm here. It's not yet 10 o'clock. So fingers crossed it'll be a nice group and a nice walk around. Oh, I'm in Bath. Did I say that? I don't think I did. Yes, I caught the train from Bristol to Bath this morning. Unfortunately, I did have to wait quite a while for my guide, and I was the only one in the group, but I'll explain more about that in a moment. So after my hour-long wait for my walking tour, it eventually occurred and went for an hour. There was just Jo and myself. She did show me around Bath, some interesting things. I didn't take any video, it was just too rushed. And now she had another appointment, so I'm going to wander around Bath on my own. This area behind me here is called the Circle. And I took a few photos as we went around different buildings, so I'll pop them in after this introduction. So So the area I was in just now was called the Circus. This area here is the Royal Circuit. Look at that, all the way around. Bath is definitely the most touristy place that I've been to. Not unexpected, of course, and they're definitely catering for the tourists, but surprisingly, most op shops of any city I've been to, and they're all fairly well priced. So I have scored a couple of things, which means I'm going to get rid of a couple of things when I go back to the hostel tonight. So this little bit of Bath is a little bit interesting, this road, because it just looks like any other road. Oh, it's actually a bridge. Now I took a photo much earlier of the bridge and I'll go back and do a video. But take a look through this shop window and you'll see that we're sitting right over the water. There you go. I'm in the shop and how about that? We're on a bridge. So there you go, there's that bridge that I was on just before with the shops going all the way through it. It has been used for quite a few movies, and down here is the Pulteney Weir. And so I've managed to walk around for most of the day and I've only just come to where the Roman baths are. So that is actually the Abbey behind me. Yes, another beautiful abbey, but this one costs £7.50 to go in. So I'm going to skip that because there's so many abbeys and cathedrals that you can go in for free. So here we can see the crowds behind me, and that's because that building there is the Roman baths. So I've dug deep. I've forked out the £26 to come in here. £26, that's like $50. Not like me, but I'm going to go and see it, and I will share it with you, of course, the Roman bathhouse. So there's allotted times to come in here. I think it's about an hour apart, so I just lucked it that I arrived here with a couple of minutes to spare. There was 1 minute or one position left on the time I wanted to come, and I scored it, so that actually worked out really well. So it's not great light to get all these statues, so I've done some close-ups by photographing them. It just seems to work a bit better. And all the archways through, I love these. Very cool. So you probably can't see it on the video, but I can see water bubbling up. It actually comes up at 46 degrees Celsius and 1.1 million litres a day. So this was for the King's Spa. Found this fairly interesting. They found this whole bag of coins here from 32 BC to 275 AD. Hard to believe. So in this area it's like a museum, there's lots of pieces, and I doubt very much whether these are genuine because they're where everybody is, so they would be cast. So now we're getting to the interesting parts as far as I'm concerned. This really reminds me of terracotta warriors. You don't know how much is genuine and how much isn't. And a lot of the signs say that things were found elsewhere and not here. Some of it was even from Rome. So yeah, it's interesting and unique. In this area it actually smells quite different now that we're sort of down in the belly of the building, as it were. And you can see by this why it's so smelly. There's all that green moss growing. It smells quite damp. So all these bits and pieces have been retrieved from the spring. I think people just threw them in there, discarded them. So now down by the actual baths, so there's lots to see here, that's for sure. And the way they've catalogued all the history is just amazing. Yeah, not into ancient history, so it will be on me how they've actually been able to work it out. But I love the way they've had the videos, and then we've got a couple of the ladies here looking the part. Cool. Pretty cool job. They just sit around all day and talk to people. Definitely have to watch your step here. There's all sorts of grooves and humps and bumps and things. Now I really feel like I'm seeing the Roman baths rather than everything behind glass cages. It's sort of pretty cool down here. Well, here's some photos of some of the statues that were around the Roman baths. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your tour of the Roman baths and that little bit of Bristol that I wandered around. So there will be more on Bristol, and I also do another day trip off to Glastonbury, which was amazing, especially the Abbey. So till next time, bye for now.